On Friday, Destroy Lonely dropped Broken Hearts Free. I took a listen, and over the weekend I took a couple more listens, and I could say that my opinion changed a lot since the first one that I took on Friday. So today, I'm going to be rating every single track on Broken Hearts Free on beat out of 5, vocals and flow out of 5, and replay value out of 10. Then we're gonna add them all up and get a total of 20, and then put them into a tier list to see where they rank against each other. Make sure to stick around for the final verdict, and also to drop your tier list in the comments down below. I'm willing to hear everything, guys, and take in mind, I'm not a professional musician and I have no music background, so please take everything I say with a grain of salt. So, let's get into it. Track 1 is called Ain't Hard, and on my first listen of Ain't Hard, I was utterly surprised by the beat selection. This beat was created by Bugs, Ronin, Wake Up, Questa, and Brandon Ekenyeli. The beat gives you a rage psychedelic type of vibe, and lyrically, Opium members haven't always been like the Kendricks and the Drakes of lyricism, but Lone caught me by surprise in this one. Mainly speaking about drugs, money, women, cars, which is basically the main theme of the entire of Broken Hearts Free. Lone flows on the beat quite nicely and matches its vibe with the production and mixing, which was honestly one of the best on the album. On my second listen of Ain't Hard, I gave the beat a rating of 2.5 out of 5 and the vocal and flow delivery a 3.5 out of 5. To be fair, I believe that the beat isn't basic, but I also believe it has a lot of potential as well. In terms of replay value for an intro to an album, I believe that depending on your vibe, I'd give it a 5 out of 10, as it's not a song I believe I would return to automatically, but obviously opinions are different and you might want to return to that song as well. My final score of Ain't Hard is an 11 out of 20, putting it at mid in the tier list ranking. Moving on to track number 2, which is called Risk. Ain't Hard flows perfectly into Risk, and personally for me, the beat was a showcase of great production and producer excellency. Produced by Bugs, Dark Boy Santana, and once again Brandon Ekenyeli, they show us that after the Ain't Hard beat, they can definitely up their game and fill in the gaps that were left out. I rated the beat a 4 out of 5, rightfully so, because in terms of vocals and flows, I think Lone shows us that he can be one of the best Opium members for sure. And with the beat, it just complements it. Lone mainly speaks about how he's willing to risk everything to further his life. He clearly shows us this through the repetition of I'm rolling the dice, which is a play on playing dice on the corner of the street back in the hood. Due to this, I give Lone a 3 out of 5 in the vocal section. And in terms of replay value, this song is definitely up in the higher end of the spectrum at a 6 out of 10, just because I believe I would return to this song. But I mean, I think it's all dependent on the mood and on my mood. So for that, the final score is going to be left at a 13 out of 20, just putting it in the solid section. Track number 3 is called See No Evil, and just when I thought it was getting good and Lone was going to go 3 for 3, this rubbish appears. The beat was produced by Cody, Why So Bored, Hexotag, and once again, Brandon Ekenyeli. I mean, there isn't much wrong with the beat, so I can't fault them, but I must admit, just like Ain't Hard, it's definitely missing something. And I feel as though this song has a lot of potential. I rated the beat a 3.5 out of 5, but I think the other category is where the real drop in quality is. The verses are definitely missing something, but I just can't put my finger on it. And the chorus is where the song is saved in my opinion. I mean, I gave the vocal category a 2 out of 5, and I'm gonna be honest, it just feels like filler. Like, it feels like One Piece filler. You can attack me in the comments if you feel that it's a hot take, but hey, that's just me. And in terms of replay value, it's only at a 4 out of 10. So I mean, it's close to Ain't Hard in terms of replay value, but the final score is only a 9.5 out of 20, meaning it's in that mid category just by the skin of its teeth. Track 4 is called No Pressure, and this is a great comeback from the failure that we see on See No Evil. It's produced by Cody, Ice Dam, Brandon, and Elantre Williams, and they create one of the best beats on the album on this song. I had to give this beat a 4 out of 5 because it just matches the vibe that Lone definitely wanted to use for this type song. And I mean, this is definitely one of his best flows. 18 song album and you pull off this flow and it's this early, come on now. The vocal sections are rightfully rated a nice 3.5 out of 5. And yeah, you can call me strict after saying that it's one of the best flows on an 18 song album, but look, I'm just a picky person and that's all it is. I feel as though it speaks on the exact same stuff. I mean, money, drugs, cars, and women, but it's in such more of a melodic rage vibe, which I'm kind of messing with right now. So for me, the final score for No Pressure is 14 out of 20. I personally think everybody needs to go and listen to this song, like at least once. It's definitely one of the highlights of this album, and Lone, well done. Track 5 is called STFU, and Lone is continuing his streak. This man is on fire. He had a little bump with See No Evil, but now it seems as though he's got his flow, he's got his rhythm, and he's going. I mean, the first time that I listened to STFU, I only kind of liked the vocals over the beat, but on my second listen, I believe that they're equally as good as each other and complement each other just as well. The topic of STFU is definitely one that a lot of people need to hear, and I feel as though the beat can be a bit misleading with you vibing out to such a kind of like uplifting beat that Bugs and Bobby Raps produced. It kind of gives off that vibe of I don't really care. But on that topic, I rate the beat a 4 out of 5. It's definitely a good beat, and I feel as though the vocals are also a 4 out of 5, so they're kind of in the same category as I said. Lone is mainly talking about how the haters online are talking a lot about how he's fallen off, stuff like that, but he's not listening. He's just gonna keep doing what he's doing and doing it to the best that he possibly can. And I mean, at the end of the day, he's telling them to shut the F up. It's as simple as that. I feel like this is a lesson that a lot of people need to take in, and personally for me, due to the message he implies, the replay value skyrockets. And I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 and a final score of 16.5 out of 20. This song is another must listen. Track 6 is called Show You How, and I believe that this is the one that's going to get me a lot of stick with the Destroy Lonely fans, because my first listen to this song was dreadful. And I even sat in the dark pondering whether or not I should continue with the album after this one, especially with the fact that See No Evil had me already thinking about things like, is this really worth it? But after my first listen, I gave the entire song a 4 out of 10. But then after my next listen, I had to pay much closer attention to a lot of things, and I separated the beat from the vocals. The beat is by Bugs, Wake Up, and Elantre, and can easily take you to a different place. On the beat, I rated it a 4 out of 5, and the vocal and flow delivery is just lacking something, but I think this isn't a song for everyone to vibe to, but more for his girl to vibe to, if that makes any sense. So I gave the vocals a 3 out of 5 and the replay value a 6.5 out of 10. Once again, I don't think this song is really built for you to play over and over again, especially, sorry to say, but if you're single, this one ain't for us guys. But I mean, if you're rich and you have a girl, this one might be for you. I don't know, but go and give it a listen. My final score is a 3.5 out of 20, just sliding it into the solid section. Track 7 is called Top Flow, and this is one of the most consistent songs from start to finish, because I was just bopping my head the whole time. This is where Lone separates himself from other artists, I believe. Like, this feels like it could easily be his signature sound. Everything about this song was unique and different, and personally for me, my favorite bar in the entire album is in this song. It's when he says, "Magic City, go David Blaine." I mean, come on, like, he just shows that he can be lyrical, you know. And I rated the beat a 4.5 out of 5. Clayco, Lead Blunt, and Flyboy killed this one, and they really do their thing on it. The vocals were rated a 2.5 out of 5, only due to the fact that the flow was the only thing inconsistent about the song. It kind of drops the entire category, but it doesn't really matter. The replay value is in a different world though. I think this is a song that, played with the right group at a party, can easily create a mosh pit or get the crowd going. I rated it a 7 out of 10, and my final score was a 14 out of 20. I think most of you guys should take a listen to this one. It's for sure worth it. Track number 8 is called Kansas, and this is one of my favorite listens because Top Flow leads straight into Kansas amazingly, and both times that I listened to it, it had me hyped. Honestly, the call to make it lead into the next song was the right call for sure. Cody, BBS, Ice Dam, and Brandon team up once again to make one of those beats that really has a lot of potential, especially if used correctly. But in my opinion, there's stuff to work on. So I gave the beat a 3.5 out of 5. In terms of the vocals and flow, I think Lone carries this song. I gave him a 4.5 out of 5, and seriously, the flow he uses might be one of his best again on this album. It shows me versatility and just straight flowing. In terms of replay value, I gave Kansas a 7.5 out of 10, because in reality, this is a song where you can whack it on and just vibe out because there's no need to listen to anything else. The beat and Lone's flow alone can take you to a different place. My final score for Kansas was a 15.5 out of 20, making this song a solid choice song and just missing out on the fire category by 0.5 of a rating. Track 9 is called Screw Up, and Screw Up is now the halfway mark on this 18-song album. And just like Manchester United at halftime, there's a lot going on with this song. Because just like my first listen on Show You How, this went dreadful. And it really made me question this entire damn album. It felt like a stale performance and a filler track, just to make it to the halfway point. And it seemed like he was just doing it to please the label. But on my second listen, the beat just hit completely differently. And once I started listening from there, I started to view the song completely differently. The flow in some places made me realize that this song is actually decent. I gave the beat a 4 out of 5 and the vocals got a 3 out of 5, with the replay value sitting dead in the middle at a 5 out of 10 because I think it depends on the listener more than anything. If you mess with this kind of vibe, I think you should for sure listen to this song because you will definitely enjoy it, and I feel like you would rate it much higher than I did. So now that we've done number 9, we are now exactly halfway through the entire album, and I'm just gonna keep it 100 with everyone. I'm a bit surprised but also a little disappointed. I think the Stray Lonely fans will attack me in the comments, but to be real, I think Lone has a couple of things to work on going into this second half. Little did I know, there was a surprise waiting for me in the very next song. Track 10 is called Party and Get High, and this is for sure one of his top 5 best songs on the album. And I'm so glad that I decided to sit here and I got to listen to this song. It's absolutely amazing. Bugs, Dim Crux, and Gabe Lucas really got me hyped with this beat. Once I heard the intro, I don't know where it comes from, by the way. I don't know if it was recorded in the studio while making the beat, but boy, I'm telling you now, that intro sets the whole mood. This beat had to get the 5 out of 5 treatment, and it's for sure the best beat on this entire album. Produced amazingly and mixed amazingly. Vocally, Lone takes us to a new place, proving to us that he can play into the soft R&B and rage genre. This was really something special from him. I don't care what anybody has to say. This might be some of his best work. I rated the vocals and the flow an easy 4 out of 5. and I couldn't believe it. If Lone gave us more of this, I'll be honest, I think he would easily be able to hold his position as the second best Opium member and enter a second prime. The replay value on this song is an 8.5 out of 10 because I think if you replay this too much, it can easily get old and boring, but it's close to being a 9 or easily a 10. Anthony Fantano, come fight me, but I don't care. Final score 17.5 out of 20, and it could have easily been a 19 to 20 range, but it puts it in the fire category. Track 11 is called Leash, and just before I get into this, I believe for the next couple of songs, Lone just goes on a run of just top tier beats, and this is close to the other Broken Hearts beat selection. Real talk, Leash has the beat vibe of If Looks Could Kill, and I think that's the good thing about Leash. A really consistent song from start to finish. I gave the beat a 4 out of 5. The vocals got a 3.5 out of 5, and I think the vocal selection is carried by the flow. It just matches the cadence and feel of the entire beat. The replay value is once again quite high and could have easily have been higher. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and it could have been a 7.5. I think you guys should definitely give this one a listen, especially with the transition that happens at the end of this song into song 12, Jumanji. Final score 14 out of 20, putting it in the solid category, just missing out of the fire category by 2. Track 12 is called Jumanji, and I'm just gonna start off by saying I have given Jumanji 3 listens. I listened to it once as a single and twice as part of the entire album mix. But what I can tell you is it just gets better and better, and it's now my favorite song on the album. I know I said earlier that I believe that Party and Get High is definitely best. This is my personal favorite on this album. So please take this song rating with a grain of salt, as it could easily be seen as biased. But for me, I gave the beat a 4.5, especially with the transition from Leash being included in the entire thing. It just keeps you immersed. The vocals and the flow at first wasn't anything crazy, but after 2 more listens, it rose to a 4.5 out of 5, and the replay value is easily a 9 out of 10, because the fact that I was able to listen to it 2 more times and rate it again and again and bop my head each time is absolutely insane. The last person who did this for me, Playboi Carti, within the Opium genre, and I believe that it's close to Carti level in that regard. My final score was an 18 out of 20, making it the best song on the album by only 0.5. Track 13 is called Not the Mayor, and I believe Not the Mayor takes us back to Top Flow, where Lone basically proves that he's standing on business. Mainly speaking about making money and buying things for his girl, he also disses his haters online once again, telling us that he's pissed them off and he doesn't care if they change their opinions, ultimately telling them, you picked your side, so stay there. I gave the beat a 4 out of 5, as this is once again amazing beat selection. Vocals and flow was given a 4 out of 5. This is another Lone Flow masterclass, and I think he just kills it. Like, honestly, this type of flow can easily hype someone up. Replay value is easily a 7.5 out of 10, as I think you can listen to the song a couple times before it may get boring, but I think for others like myself, this song could almost be timeless in accordance to the Lone discography. Track 14 is called Blowin Smoke, and when you hear me sigh, you know I'm disappointed. I don't really want to talk about Blowin Smoke too much, but let's just say you could easily skip this song. I mean, it's repetitive, and realistically, it just feels like filler again. And it comes after such a great run. I don't think the beat is once again a problem here. Even though I rated the beat a 2.5, I think without the heavy punk vibe instruments, Gunna could easily walk on this beat and just, kill it, which I think shows more the beat's versatility, if you want to think about it like that. Vocals and flow definitely weren't the best on this one. I think it's definitely a good song for some people, but I think with the level that this album has already shown us in previous songs, this song just drops off a cliff for me. And I feel like the album could have easily been better without it. I gave vocals a 2 out of 5 and then the replay value a 3 out of 10. Big shame in this drop off in quality, but the final score I gave it was a 7.5 out of 20. Easily putting it in the bottom tier. I feel as though you can give it a listen, but personally for me, I would just pass on it. Track 15 is called Kool on Ya, and all I'm gonna say is yes. If this is Lone's apology for Blowin Smoke, then I will accept it. I don't care. This is levels. The beat is delightful and clearly inspired by Carti's Wheezy era on I Am Music. And you can argue with me if you want, but that's what I believe this beat is inspired by. And you can easily tell that Lil 88 and Clayco teamed up here, because the carry of this beat is honestly disgusting. I gave the beat a 5 out of 5 because this beat made me float. I gave Lone's vocals and flow a 3.5 because I'll be honest, the flow is the main thing that carries him here. I mean, I don't know why I feel like he played it quite safe on this song by repeating bars, but other than that, give me more of this. And the album that would come with it would be legendary, especially in Lone's category. The replay value is easily an 8, but could have been an 8.5 for sure. With that, the final score is a 16.5 out of 20, making this one of the best songs on the album, putting it in the fire category, and transitioning from Kool on Ya to Sooo High is incredible, and it keeps you well immersed. Talking about Sooo High, when I tell you now that this song was carried by part 1, because part 1 was a showcase. So much so that I had to separate ratings, because Lone even says at one point, this is my new era. Please let this be, because part 1 had me jumping around my room. Like, the beat in part 1 is amazing. The flow and delivery is amazing as well. But unfortunately, as much as I believe part 2 is also quite special, the mix and approach they went for to make it sound like Lone wasn't rapping into the microphone directly kills the vibe. I think this is a song that could grow on you. I mean, it goes from a clear sound to almost an 8-bit game soundtrack, which could work out, but I think it just kills the vibe for me. These could have been 2 separate songs, with part 2 obviously replacing one of the weaker songs on the album. But in the end, I rated the beat a 3.5 out of 5, vocals and flow a 3.5 out of 5, replay value a 5 out of 10, because I think I would only replay part 1 and then skip part 2 due to the mixing. But final score 11 out of 20. A fire song drops into the mid category, unfortunately. Well. It took us until the penultimate song to get an Opium Twin feature, and boy, when I saw Ken's name, I was excited and I couldn't wait. However, after a couple listens, I think Ken could have done better. Like, he didn't get a lot of time to cook up, but he has moments in the first verse where I think, damn, that was tough. And others where I'm like, meh. Especially at the end of the verse. I think there's something to work on, but we all know that Ken isn't in his prime right about now. So I'll give him a pass. Plus, the chemistry of these two is absolutely filthy and can easily create a mosh pit in the right settings. Ironically, that's what the song's about. I rated the beat a 2 out of 5 because it didn't carry. And I mean, this is an Opium Twins showcase track. Vocally together, they were rated a 3 out of 5. I think Lone just about carries on this song, with special moments from Ken to boost the song in places. Replay value is dependent on the listener, so I gave it a 5 out of 10. I would listen to it again, but not a song I would have on constant repeat. My final score was a 10 out of 20, making it evidently mid, unfortunately. The final song on the album is called Leave You Out to Dry, and I read up somewhere that this is another attempt of Lone trying soft R&B, and if so, this is a good start. He tried it earlier on in the album and I feel like it's working for him. The message in this song is almost cosmic, and a lot of people go through this in real life, making this such a relatable song to listen to in parts. I think we can tell that he made this song especially after the video of him and his girl having an argument and shouting at each other and the police being called. Lone accepts that she has helped him and that breaking up with her isn't an option for him because of the benefits, even with the negatives that stack up against their relationship. I gave the beat a 4 out of 5, another masterclass of beat selection. The intro and outro is almost legendary, and if this was recorded in the studio, they just think of these intros on the fly. I gave the vocals and the flow a 3 out of 5 as it's heavily edited and muddy, and I think that wasn't the right vibe for the beat, even though Lone made it work, but a less muddy and edited version of these vocals would absolutely skyrocket this song. Replay value was a calm 7 out of 10. I would easily have this on repeat for a couple weeks before it falls out of rotation, and the final score for me is a 14 out of 20, putting it in the solid category. So, after all this talking, I think it's time to give the album its final score and also a rating from F to S rank. I gave the whole of Broken Heart 3 a 243 out of 360. That's with all my ratings added up, and this gives us an average rating of 6.9. I would give this album the rank of a B+. I think that's around the right area it should be in, but you guys should let me know in the comment section if you think I'm correct. I think this is a great start to the album review series. If there are any albums you wish for me to review and give my ratings on, then let me know in the comment section. Make sure to spam the like button, helps me to push out more and more content. And finally, keep yapping with passion, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.